Where does all the money go? It rises to the top 1% who have a plan and purpose for every dollar they receive and systems for making sure money flows to them and grows for them. And you best believe that every bit of income gets them closer to their long-term vision and goals. Can you say the same for yourself? If not, or if you'd like to improve your paycheck routine, stick around until the end. We're going over exactly how to plan each paycheck so they make you happier, richer, and get you closer to your goals. At only 8% interest, these moves could make you $947,452 over the next 25 years. Let's go. Number 1, purpose. Set a purpose for every paycheck. Jim Rohn said, if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's life plan. And guess what they had planned for you? Not much. Purpose is like a compass pointing you towards where you want to go. However, so many people do not apply purpose to their money. Every dollar is actually a powerful tool that can be used to create lasting financial freedom for you and your family for years to come. There's a framework of 5 questions I ask my clients when helping them plan out their cash flow. Number 1 is, what's one thing you want to accomplish with this paycheck? Number 2, what's one thing you want to make progress on? Number 3, which financial goal is highest priority to you right now? And number 4 and 5 are, how can you take care of your current and future self with this paycheck? With that, set a purpose for your paycheck in 3 minutes or less, so that each one moves you closer to the future you want. Think of how many hours you work each pay period. Some of you might work 40 or 60 hours a week. That's time away from family, loved ones, and other things you could be doing. Consider that opportunity cost and see if it's worth just 3 minutes of your time to assign a purpose for each paycheck. In the book, Your Money or Your Life, the authors refer to this as your life energy. You trade your valuable time and life energy for money, so make sure that each paycheck gets you in a better place. It doesn't matter how fast you're running if you're running in the wrong direction. So set a purpose for each paycheck so you know where you want to go, and then follow these steps to get there as quickly as possible. Number 2, priority. Give priority to things that get you ahead. Start with your goals. One of my goals as a young financial planner was actually to buy this Tesla. I remember talking about it when I sat down with another financial planner in San Diego. At the time, I was broke and really it seemed almost impossible. Still, the advisor wrote it down and in a few years, it was done. Just that simple act of writing out your goals increases your chances of achieving them by around 42%. What are some financial goals that you want to achieve? Write them down with an exact date, dollar amount, and how you'll feel when they're accomplished. Then create a separate account for each goal. There's a phenomenon called mental accounting where people think about money differently depending on its source and purpose. For instance, someone might take out credit card debt instead of touching money they inherited from a parent who passed away because they place a lot of emotional value on that money. Like any mental shortcut, this can also be used to your benefit. Name each account very specifically so it's tied to a goal or purpose. This creates mental friction that makes it hard to use the money for any other purpose. Think of the guy gambling his kids' college fund. Instead of joint savings account, call it savings for our dream home. Here's how to determine which type of account to set up for each goal. Start with how much time you have. For short-term goals of 3 years or less, use a cash account like a high-yield savings account or treasury bills. For longer-term goals, use an investment account. There are many types of investment accounts, so let's first separate them by retirement and non-retirement. For any goal tied to retirement, you can use an account like a 401k, traditional IRA, or even a tax-free Roth IRA. To create a tax-free source of money, you can of course use a Roth account, or for tax breaks in the current year, you can use a traditional 401k or IRA. For non-retirement goals or goals that are more flexible, use a non-qualified account. These are more flexible and can be used prior to age 59 and a half. Very simply, you can use factors such as how much time you have and whether the goal is for retirement or non-retirement to choose the best account type for each goal. Number 2, invest. Investing is just buying appreciating assets that you expect to earn you a return over time. Most people invest with a short-term mindset, but the easiest way, other than getting elected to Congress and insider trading, is to think long-term. Think of Warren Buffett's famous quote, "Be greedy when others are fearful and fearful when others are greedy." Make a list of great companies that you know will be around long after you and I are sitting in the nursing home bumping 90s slow jams. Then look to get in at low prices and hold for as long as possible. Each year usually has a handful of market pullbacks when the fear and greed index turns red and everyone's panicking. Think of the COVID crash or earlier this year, Liberation Day, when Trump announced a lot of tariffs. If you're investing for the long term, each of those is a great opportunity to buy at discount prices and let compound interest do its thing. Investing also comes with risks. Here's the key. You get paid more in returns for the more perceived risk you're willing to take. And the more time you have for a goal or purpose-driven investment account, the more risk you can afford to take. Think of stocks and digital assets like Bitcoin. They're more risky than bonds, so you can add more of them to a portfolio if you have more time, and they will do better in the long term. Bonds, where you get paid money for loaning to governments and companies, are less risky, so you can lower the risk by holding more of them in a portfolio. And then if you want to diversify, you can just finish it all off with some international, and you're good to go. Name each account according to its goal or purpose, like I said before, then allocate it based on the amount of risk you can afford to take on the account. Finally, set up an amount to go to each account automatically during each pay period. You now have a wealth building machine working to help you achieve wealth and financial freedom. Next is debt. Debt is the polar opposite of investments. It's you paying interest to borrow money. That interest can be as high as 30% for some credit cards. Actually, in Texas where I live, there's payday loan companies that charge as high as 767% interest. So to attack debt, all you have to do is make a list of each account with the amount you owe, the payment amount, and the interest rate. Then choose between the following. If you want quick psychological wins and momentum, put the majority of your payments towards the lowest balance debt that you have and pay the minimum on everything else. If you want to be hyper logical and pay the least interest over time, put the majority of the payments towards your highest interest debt. There are also little tricks. Like if you get paid bi-weekly, you can also make bi-weekly payments to your mortgage, which could shave about 5 years off of how long it takes you to pay it off. If you have a decent credit score, you can also use a 0% credit card and use that to pay some of your highest interest debt with lower interest. My favorite right now is actually from a Texas credit union called TDECU. They have a 0% interest credit card for 12 months with no balance transfer fee. That's what you call free money. Just make sure you actually use it to get out of high interest debt instead of kicking the can down the road. If you have debt, look to put at least 10% of each paycheck towards your debt payments. 4 is save, and this is pretty simple. Just choose a good high yield savings account, name it according to its purpose or goal, look at how much time you have to achieve the goal, and based on that, just set up automatic savings in an amount that ensures you will achieve it on time. Look to save at least 5% at the bare minimum. And when I say that, I'm talking to people in dire financial strait. Most people should be able to save a lot more. 5 is give. One of my favorite places to go when I feel stuck in my financial planning business is the book of Proverbs. Proverbs 11:24-25 says, "One person gives freely, yet gains even more. Another withholds unduly and comes to poverty. A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." I often find that my wealthiest clients are those who do not hoard their wealth, but use it to help others. In doing so, you're taking a small action that shows money doesn't have control over you. Giving also makes you happier. According to a study by the University of Chicago, the joy derived from giving gifts doesn't diminish over time, unlike the joy of receiving gifts, which goes away quickly. Think about when you received a Nintendo or PlayStation as a kid. Do you still feel that same level of joy when you receive a gift now as an adult? Probably not. However, you would feel the same joy giving a gift in your 80s as you would as an 8-year-old. So now we're richer, happier, and moving toward our financial goals. What's next? Live. Now you can simply live off the rest of your money. If you need to cut expenses at this point, a simple way to do that is to make a log of your expenses for the month and then label them based on how much joy they bring into your life. Look to cut out all expenses that are not necessary and don't bring joy to your life. Or you can at least just come up with a plan to reduce them a little bit. It's still important to have a good quality of life now and enjoy yourself, but you don't want it to come at the expense of your future self. One of my favorite budgeting apps is Monarch Money because they have some great features which can be used to see where your money is going each month. When you know exactly where your money's going, it becomes a lot harder to be wasteful. If you save extra money by cutting expenses, you can apply these to your goals and use that to achieve them even quicker. Number 3, protect the things that matter most. At this point, you have a system in place. Now comes the easy part. You only need to improve it little by little. Automate everything that you can to save time. Make it so it's hard to do the wrong thing and easy to do the right thing with your money. Put away all your high interest credit cards and only use one that you pay off each month to raise your credit, earn cash back, or travel points. On an even deeper level, you want to protect your peace. Money is just a tool. So look to free up as much of your time as possible by creating a system for achieving all your goals behind the scenes. Never forget all the things that are more important than money as well. Time with loved ones, staying in good health, inspiring others. Money really is just a grand illusion. It can be used to save time, hire people, make more money, or buy things and experiences that you want. But it really only holds meaning because we all agree it does. At the same time, the money supply is being diluted each year. A recent estimate that I heard said that the US money supply is actually diluted by 7% every year. About half of that goes to an increasing cost of living and the other to rising asset prices. You can protect against that with a deflationary asset like Bitcoin because of its limited supply. As a financial planner, I truly believe that every client should have at least a 1 to 5% position in Bitcoin in their portfolio to hedge against inflation and future currency devaluation. Another thing to think about is insurance. A lot of times slick insurance salespeople will try to sell you expensive policies that use insurance as an investment. Maybe if you're ultra wealthy, that makes sense, but in most cases, it's enough to buy term and invest the difference. Let your insurance be insurance and your investments be investments. Protect and take care of what you built, and it will last you for generations. Hey, we built a paycheck planner, which you can use to plan out all your future paychecks. If you want that completely for free, just DM me the word paycheck to my Instagram. That's @JosephDWarren1. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.